As we get older, the health of our arteries quietly becomes one of the most important factors determining how long and how well we live. What makes this challenging is that arterial problems don't usually announce themselves early. There's no alarm, no obvious pain, no clear warning sign. Instead, changes happen slowly, year after year, beneath the surface. Arteries are designed to be flexible, elastic tubes that expand and contract with every heartbeat, allowing oxygen, rich blood to reach every organ. But with age, that flexibility begins to decline, and when flexibility goes down, risk goes up. One of the key reasons arteries begin to clog is not just cholesterol itself, but how cholesterol interacts with inflammation inside the body. Cholesterol becomes dangerous when it gets damaged by oxidative stress. This happens when the balance between free radicals and antioxidants is disrupted, which is common as we age. Poor sleep, chronic stress, excess sugar intake, and long periods of inactivity all accelerate this process. Over time, damaged cholesterol particles slip into the artery walls, triggering an immune response. The body treats them like an injury, sending inflammatory cells to the area. That inflammation then leads to plaque formation, which slowly narrows the artery and stiffens its walls. What's important to understand is that this process can start decades before a heart attack or stroke ever occurs. Many people assume arterial blockage is something that suddenly happens in older age, but the science shows it's more like a slow accumulation of tiny daily insults. Each poor meal, each sedentary day, each night of poor sleep nudges the system slightly in the wrong direction. Individually, those nudges seem harmless. Collectively, they reshape the internal environment of the blood vessels. Another factor that plays a major role is blood sugar regulation. As insulin sensitivity declines with age, blood sugar spikes become more frequent. Elevated blood sugar directly damages the inner lining of arteries known as the endothelium. The endothelium isn't just a passive surface, it actively controls blood flow, blood pressure, and clotting. When it's healthy, it releases nitric oxide, a molecule that helps arteries relax and widen. When it's damaged, that ability drops, leading to tighter, less responsive vessels. This creates a perfect environment for plaque to build and persist. Now add dehydration into the equation. Even mild chronic dehydration makes blood thicker and less efficient at flowing through narrowed vessels. Many older adults simply don't drink enough fluids, especially water. Thicker blood increases friction against artery walls, further irritating the endothelium and promoting inflammation. This is one of those overlooked factors that doesn't get enough attention, yet it has measurable effects on cardiovascular strain. Movement also plays a critical role here. Regular muscle contraction acts like a pump that helps circulate blood and keeps arteries responsive. Without movement, blood flow slows, pressure patterns become less dynamic, and arterial walls lose the stimulus they need to stay flexible. This is why prolonged sitting has been shown to negatively impact vascular health, even in people who exercise occasionally. The arteries respond best to frequent gentle stimulation throughout the day, not just intense bursts once or twice a week. What makes arterial clogging especially dangerous is that the body is remarkably good at compensating until it can't. Blood finds alternative pathways, pressure adapts, and symptoms remain hidden. This is why many people feel fine right up until a serious cardiovascular event. By the time symptoms appear, the underlying process has often been progressing for years. That's also why focusing only on medications without addressing daily habits leaves a large gap in prevention. This brings us to an important realization. Arterial health is not about a single villain or a single solution. It's about the environment you create inside your body every day. Nutrition, hydration, sleep, stress management, and movement all converge at the level of the blood vessels. When that internal environment favors inflammation, oxidation, and stiffness, arteries suffer. When it favors balance, circulation, and repair, arteries have a remarkable capacity to maintain function longer than most people realize. Understanding why arteries clog as we age is not meant to create fear. It's meant to create leverage. Once you understand the mechanisms, you start to see how small, consistent actions can shift the trajectory. You stop looking for dramatic fixes and start paying attention to daily inputs that influence blood flow, vessel flexibility, and inflammation. That's where real prevention lives, and that's where simple habits begin to matter far more than most people have been told.